Hello everybody, welcome back to Cape Rugby TV. It's Wednesday night and we are now into the second round of the club rugby season. It has kicked off and well, the club rugby fever is certainly reaching the kind of levels that we are so used to within the ranks of Western Province Club Rugby. Everyone chomping at the bit in terms of who's going to go up and who's going down. Big predictions already being made even though it's early in the season. We're a two-man panel this evening, and of course, as usual, Morgan Newman. Hello, Morgs.
How's it, chaps? How are you going?
Yeah, I'm good. You enjoying the rugby?
Yeah. Club rugby started, so I think it's time for some, quality viewing. I think, people must get onto the clubs and watch some good rugby.
And of course, my other esteemed guest on the panel, who is no stranger to any cooker shop or Gatsby outlet, Mr. Herman Abrams. Hello, Mr. H.
Hi, JP. This is a lovely time of, the rugby time. As a rugby, as a reën, as a referees, as a rheumatiek, and a rooi wyn, they all go together.
Dis nogal snaaks hoe die rheumatiek en die reën saamkom.
Ja.
Die mense met die rheumatiek, hulle ken wanneer die reën kom in advance.
Ja, hulle kan jou sê, het gaan hard reën die naweek.
But it has been very exciting and we might as well just jump straight into it now and start taking a look at some of the results that came out over the weekend. Don't forget, if you are out there and you're watching us right now, you want to get us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. And let's take a look now at the results in Super League A and B. The SK Warmers, well, it was a close one for them, losing to Marties 14 points to 9. Vix going down to Durban 40-22. Hamilton 71-20 over Helderberg. In Super League B, it was Goodwood losing to Primrose 32 points to 7. Brackenfell 14-50 over, or at least going down to NNK. And Hands and Hearts going down to False Bay 31 points to 26. Gentlemen, if we take a look at some of those results there now, SK Warmers are feeling probably a little bit aggrieved. They must feel that this was the opportunity. And I think some of the other clubs are currently saying, hey, this was your chance, guys. Marties has just come out of the Varsity Cup. You're letting all of us down here. Couldn't you beat Marties at home, Mr. H?
Yeah, they were leading 9-7 at one stage, just shortly before the end of the game. And they should have clinched it, but then Marties scored a try to make it 14-9. And, you are right. If you look at the results, and you say, okay, Marties didn't get full points. So now immediately they are behind Hamilton's and Durbanville. Yeah. So now they must catch up with a bonus point. And you'll see that in the other results also, Suddenly, if you look at the overall results, in all the divisions, there's only one or two teams that have gained full points. The others have all sort of, they either lost or they only gained 4 points. So immediately, there are those one or two that's right at the top and going forward.
Morgs, are we not perhaps, are people not expecting a little bit too much from Marties coming out of the Varsity Cup?
Look, chaps, I think it is a big jump to go straight from Varsity Cup to club rugby and the Super League. But from what I heard, the guys, Stellenbosch made 10 changes to the starting lineup that played in the Varsity Cup final. So yeah, look, it was, like you say, SK Warmers' opportunity to get one over the old enemy from Stellenbosch. But yeah, Stellenbosch, that just shows again the depth that they've got. And I heard that there was a close call by the referee at the end there in the last 5 minutes to give SK the win. So yeah, they'll be feeling aggrieved, and I'm sure they'll come back fighting, coming this weekend.
Well, they're going to have their work cut out for them, but we'll take a look at the fixtures a little bit later. The other interesting result there is Durban beating Vix 40 points to 22. Durban seemed to be very consistent. Last year, doing well in the league, winning the league, going to the Varsity Cup, or at least not the Varsity Cup, going to the Community Cup, and they've had all their warm-up games and straight into the league, coming off.
Yeah, no, I think they really showed, they mean business, and one would like them to carry that, because if they are going that way, it will be nice. Because they will keep the pressure up on the Marties, they will keep the pressure up on Hamilton's, and that makes for good rugby at the end.
Well, I'm supposing that some of the teams in the lower part of the league are going to be looking to sort of look to the bigger clubs to unsettle each other. So that's going to create an easier way in for them.
Well, if you just look at the other result, Helderberg.
Yeah.
They played previous week, they beat Tigerberg.
Yes.
And now, I think they must be a bit shell-shocked. 10 tries against them.
Morgs, yeah, I mean, Hamilton's a massive victory there, 71-20 over Helderberg, but is it a question of, is it a question of Helderberg still settling into it? Because, how do you determine from that kind of after 2 games?
Yeah, look, they were definitely on a high. I think they came into the Super League A on a high, and they obviously beat Tigerberg, and then they got a bit of a shock. I mean, the score was 32 points. They were 32 points down, sort of 12 minutes into the game, So there were 4 quick tries that Hamilton's put down, and then obviously they settled down and they started to play some good rugby and scored, 3 impressive tries towards the end of the game. So,
but I know that there's a little bit of frustration at Hamilton's at the moment because every single game that you've played this season in the warm-up games, and already I think this was the first game now, but the warm-up games, and that is there's been enormous margins. I mean, it was a 97-0 against Villagers. You guys played that Argentinian side, and it was 90-odd 0. It's kind of hard when you have those enormous scores to determine what exactly your team is doing.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's why I think this matchup against Stellenbosch this coming weekend is going to be a very interesting one because, with big victories like that, it's very difficult to do video sessions. It's very difficult to sort of see where you're going wrong, if you know what I'm trying to say, because the attack obviously just wasn't there. So, and the attack is so easy from your side that, again, it's difficult to judge where you're at. So I think this weekend against Stellenbosch is definitely going to be a sort of a benchmark on where our preseason has been.
Let's take a look now at the results in Super League B. Primrose doing pretty well in the season so far, off the starting blocks. They've got a big game this weekend against Villagers. Villagers coming out of Super League A. But it was a nice win for them over Goodwood.
Yeah, I think, Goodwood looks like they're struggling a little bit because previous week they also didn't make it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Primrose looks to be in good state.
It's there's been a bit of a coaching change at Goodwood. It strikes me that there are quite often, if you make the coaching change, you must be prepared for a year or two of teething problems.
I agree with you. I mean, we know, in the earlier years of Western Province, I think we had 12 coaches in 10 years or something like that. So, and we never won anything because the coaches were changing regularly. Now that there's, sort of stability in the coaching, you see the team also performing.
Well, it's quite exciting to see now how all these teams are doing. Some of the guys coming up and coming down. Brackenfell, of course, losing to NNK. It was a 50 points to 14 win for them, for NNK. But NNK seemed to be once again solid, consistent, playing good rugby.
A very good start for their season, getting away with a big victory, and they can build on it now because in that section, things are very, very close. And it's going to be very close because you have Falls Bay there, you have Kales River there, and all those, so they're all going to make it into the last 5 or 6 right at the end, and that's going to be very tough.
And Morgs, I think this goes to showing the consistency of NNK with their coaching structures certainly. It's because they've been threatening to come into the higher league, Super League A, for quite a while now. And building on last year where it was basically it came almost down to a sort of a playoff scenario as to who was going to make it, who was going to get promoted. And it became, for them, it was eventually up to another team. But that consistency in the coaching structure, the guys are doing great there.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I think Villagers can take a leaf out of NK's book in terms of when they went down a few years back, they sort of started afresh, started to build a new side, built sort of consistency in Super League B, and now they're starting to press forward to get back into Super League A, So I think it'll take some time, but NK are definitely, sort of the blueprint of how to get back into Super League A in terms of, just building from the start and keeping your coaching staff and your patterns going for 2 or 3 years, and then you find yourself back there.
And then finally in Super League B, False Bay, compared to Villagers, the two of those teams that got relegated into Super League B, you can see that False Bay clearly are a Super League A outfit. They've come into Super League B and they've just hit the straps running. I mean, they beat Hamilton's in their first sort of warm-up game.
70 odd.
No, Hamilton's when they played it. Yeah, in the friendly. And they're showing that they are a Super League A outfit with Super League A experience.
The one thing that they mustn't do, and I think on Saturday, they nearly lost it. Because, I think sometimes the clubs have a they think, man, you know, hands and hearts. They played hands and hearts.
Yeah.
Low down. They got them, hands and hearts lost their first game. And then score halftime, 21-20. And time score, very close. So, you know, you look at Kales River. They won their first game, big score. We had to go play against Hamlets, who lost by 70 points the previous week. And then Hamlets turned the game upside down, you know, and nearly beat them. And the score was 26-28 in the end. So
is that a question of some teams have maybe got a bit of an attitude of?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then suddenly at the end they must, you know, they must fight for it.
Yeah. In Super League, or at least now, let's look at the results in Premier League A and Premier League B. And there you see it, St George's 13-7 over Rangers. Elsie's Raffier losing Pedendal Villagers 24-19. Scottsdene was a win for, or at least not a win for them, but a loss. A 2-point loss was nearly a win for them, 29 points to 27. And Premier League B, it was a draw, or at least a win for Young People, 17-13 over Van der Stel. Strand 18-17 over Langa. Milnerton beating Franschhoek by just 2 points. The game we were at over the weekend was, of course, Scottsdene and Kraaifontein. We went to go and check out that game. Scottsdene at home against Kraaifontein. Excuse me. Let's see what happened in the highlights in the match between Scottsdene and Kraaifontein.
Bye. Scrap.
Waar je? Als we net praten met verdediging is al.
We'll get back in the game now.
Kom Max, sê vir die mense iets.
Back your boy.
Take the game. Open side, open side. Bye.
Well, there we go. Scottsdene, Kraaifontein. Fantastic match. But the thing that got me at Scottsdene again was it looks like a fairly new community. They've got a great field. The structures are really good there. So before we talk about the game, the facilities there and the administration under Gerald Brock, he is doing a great job.
Yeah, they've always had very good administrators there. And, you know, they really try to put an event there.
Yeah.
So, and they have the support of the community. That's vital, you know. Last year I went to the end of year function. You had to wait to go inside, you know, because it was full. It was
And once again, you know, speaking to Gerald at Scottsdene, he's one of the few administrators out there who understands the value of television at a game. I mean, we got there and you would have seen in the opening clip, it was, welcome Cape Rugby TV. It was fantastic. But the understanding from Gerald's side is the value of getting his team on television, because he's got some sponsors lined up and now he's got something to brag with. He's got some guys in Dubai and he's got some local corporates who are supporting him, and that's exactly what you need to do.
That's all that you have to do. Work with the television station, work in your community, and get the things out there. People will notice you.
So folks, just once again, if you are out there, help us. Send us your photographs. The more you help us, the more we're able to do for you. But it was a 2-point win for Kraaifontein. Morgs, it was down to the wire there, but we're seeing some pretty good skills there. And Alistair Sigelaar, one of your old teammates, is coaching there, and he seems to be building quite a bit of a culture there.
Yeah, look, Alistair was one of the more skillful guys in his day, and I think he's sort of trying to implement it in his side. So yeah, it's good to see some awesome running rugby.
What would he have brought? What would Alistair, as a former professional player, what would he have brought to the team?
Look, Alistair, as a scrum half, I think Alistair obviously knew how to direct a rugby match, and he knew what to play and what times of the game. And I think what he would have brought to them was purely the fact that you'll know what kind of moves and what kind of positions to play in the field and how to get there. And I think as a scrum half, like I said, he'll definitely be able to know how to put his team there so that they can play and use those skills that he's obviously trying to instill in them.
Do you think that as a scrum half, because it's interesting that you mentioned that, and if we look at the numbers in club rugby, traditionally, the majority of people who play club rugby are coloured. The fact is, we have in Western Province more of a running rugby in the coloured community. Am I right in saying that? Would you agree with that, Mr. H?
Yeah. That has always been, the type of rugby that we played.
Yeah.
You run, the ball must go to the wing, and he must play it back, and that's how you play across the field until you score a try.
So if we look at that and we break it down a little bit, and maybe it's a kind of an interesting topic, but Morgs, the fact that you've got a scrum half as the coach as opposed to a forward as the coach, and a guy like Alistair who would be, as a scrum half, naturally looking for space, looking for opportunities to find gaps and run off each other, do you think he would be bringing that to the aspect as opposed to a forward?
Look, I must say, I know Alistair for years now, and he is definitely a guy that loves to run the ball. So I think he'll definitely be coaching his guys into keeping the ball in hand and because if you think about guys that are, if they're kicking the ball, they're only kicking the ball 20, 30 meters, whereas if you get a penalty and you run the ball, the defense are 10 meters back as it is. So you run the ball 10 meters, win the collision, maybe gain another 5. You're only really losing 5 meters in terms of holding the ball and still keeping the ball in possession, So Alistair will definitely be pushing the running rugby side of things. But again, you can't win games only running the ball. You've got to get out of the danger zone, as they call it, at some stage in the game. So you've got to find the fine balance between running it and obviously just, getting out of the red zone.
But that's our style of rugby, Mr. H. Western Province rugby plays running rugby.
But even for Scottsdene to try and take on Kraaifontein up front would be stupid, To take on Paul up front would, is a no-brainer. I mean, they have to run the ball against those big forwards. So it's simple. Run the ball.
Well, talking about the forwards and the backs there, we unfortunately had to catch up with the losing captain and coach of Scottsdene. It was Leroy Reiters, and the coach there, Alistair Sigelaar. Let's see what the boys had to say. Right, folks, Leroy Reiters, he is the captain of Scottsdene. Unfortunately, things didn't quite go the way for Scottsdene today, but a great crowd, a bunch of talented players there.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to my guys. They did what they can on this day, and the momentum was a bit we slack in momentum, but we need to get there in the practice Monday and Thursday. We will get there, hopefully. Just want to say thank you to Kraaifontein coming out to our home, bringing the game to us. At the end of the day, the points didn't say how the game went.
Well,
unfortunately.
It looks like Leroy said just about everything that I wanted to ask there. The points didn't go well. You're planning on getting it right, because normally the question is, what's the game plan? And it's back to the drawing board. But, best of luck for the rest of the season.
Yes, man, we'll go back to the practice field and we'll do what we can.
Thanks, Leroy.
Thank you.
All right, folks, with me now is Alistair Sigelaar, the coach of Scottsdene. Alistair, great game. Unfortunately, in the last minutes, they just ran out of time.
Yeah, JPA, that's the way it goes. Some you win, some you lose, some. But the boys will go back, Monday evening, and we'll start over again. We've got a big challenge next week in Penal Villages, and we got to get the 4 points there. Home or away, doesn't matter.
The preparation this year so far?
It's been good. Unfortunately, I couldn't join the guys in the preseason. I was still up in Joburg. But ever since I've been back, it's been good. The guys I'm happy with the fitness levels at the moment, and the condition of the guys are looking good.
Community seems to be behind you guys.
Yeah, it's always the case in Scottsdale. You've always got this community behind you. Whether you win or lose, and that's the great thing about Scottsdale Rugby.
Well, listen, we'll be tracking your season. Hopefully, we'll get you on the show sometime.
Thanks a lot, Joe.
Leroy Reiters and Alistair Sichel are there, the losing captain and coach at Scottsdene. A pretty good game, I must say. Unfortunately, it didn't just quite go the way for Scottsdene on the day. It was pretty tight, and if there was there was a fair amount of tension. I must say the guys were really looking for it, but quite unbelievable how some of the crowd was giving the referee a little bit of a hard time there.
Well, they're neighbours, so.
Yeah, no, they are. But the kids, I must say, the kids at the side of the field, and everybody knew Cape Rugby. I mean, that was fantastic, and I think we've got a little clip here of one of the kids actually saying, what channel it is they watch, and I had them walk around with a Tata Man of the Match check, and that was fantastic. Let's quickly take a look at that clip there of the young man, the kids at least on the side of the field, some of the fans just saying which channel it is that they watch, and that they watch Cape Rugby TV every Wednesday night religiously.
Ons Cape Rugby TV, 9 o'clock woensdag.
There you go, the kids at Scottsdene watching the show. How fantastic, and the fans out there, absolutely great. Let's catch up now with the winning coach and captain of Kraaifontein, Ruan Vermaak, and of course the coach Stephen Gerber.
Ruan, jy is die wenkaptein vandag van Kraaifontein. Julle het in Scottsdene net gespeel. 'n Goeie resultaat vir julle.
Ja, ons het dan 5 punte uit die game uit gekry, maar ek dink ons is tevrede met ons spellie. Ons het baie foute gemaak op verdediging. So ek dink ons moet maar 'n bietjie gewerk in daai fasette van die game, want dit is die liga raak hard, so om van hier af te bou en verder te gaan.
Die wind bietjie verskil gemaak in die tweede helfte?
Ek dink soos ons in die eerste helfte het ons teen die wind gespeel, so ons is bietjie baie in ons eie halfgebied en so gevang. Tweede helfte kon ons bietjie uitgekom het, maar hulle counter-attacking van ons koppe was uitstekend geweest, en ek dink dit het ons nog steeds onder baie druk gesit. So ek dink die wind het nie veel van 'n rol gespeel in daai aspekkie.
Scottsdene se defense het nogal goed gelyk.
Ja, ons het dan ons 4-3 gekry, maar is ook maar net en so aan. So ek weet ek dink dit was 2 punte op die einde van die dag, was die of 7 punte was die verskil. So dit was 'n close game. Derby game is altyd lekker, en ons is eintlik gelukkig vandag om hier weg te loop met 5 punte.
Alweer eens wel gedaan, en ons sien uit om hoe julle doen in die vorentoe.
Dis hy. Dankie baie.
Scottsdene up against Kraaifontein, playing at home against Scottsdene. Stephen Gerber. Stephen, tight there towards the end.
Yeah, I think you couldn't expect more from a derby. I think at the end, Scottsdene played very well today. A couple of calls unlucky their way, same way to us. But at the end of the day, we stuck through, and we won it by 2 points, but we still got our 5 points that we came here to get.
Julle het 'n paar warm warm-up games gehad voor die seisoen begin het. Het daai gehelp?
Ja, ons het 'n paar harde warm-up games gehad. Om ons kyk waar ons sterkpunte en swakpunte is, en goeie spanne. Maar ja, soos jy sê, vat maar week vir week. Elke week is 'n nuwe week, 'n nuwe challenge. So ons vat maar week vir week. Volgende week is weer volgende game, weer 'n ander span.
Julle het 'n paar groot ouens daar in die voorry.
Ja, ons het 'n paar groot manne. Ons het hard gewerk in die fiksie nou seisoen op hulle. Stap nog so 'n bietjie, maar ons werk uit hulle. Hulle sal kom.
Wel, is er weer eens wel gedaan, en ons kyk vorentoe dat julle goed dan.
Baie dankie net om te sê, Scottsdene het wel 'n sterkte vir hulle vorentoe.
Stephen Gerber talking to us there after the match, and it came away for a victory for Kraaifontein, and I'm sure that they're very happy there, and congratulations to Ruan Vermaak, the captain there. He's been, I think Ruan played in the amateur squad, Mr.
I'm not quite sure, I think so.
So yeah, good performance there from Kraaifontein, coming out with a 2-point lead. But of course, the Tata man of the match on the day, Dennis Wille-Bleiber. Congratulations, Dennis. You are this week's Tata man of the match.
Dennis Wille-Bleiber, congratulations. You are today's Tata man of the match. Great performance. You must be happy with coming away with a victory like that.
Ja, het is altyd hard om hier te kom speel by Scotsdene, derby game. En ons het die laaste paar minute moes ons verdedig vir die dood, want ek meen hulle het al hulle drie gedruk tweede helfte, amper al hulle drie. Hulle het die hele tyd vir ons gekom en ons maar 'n bietjie werk aan ons defense en die ouens moet hulle koppe maar net hoog hou vir die volgende game. En ons sien hulle volgende game by ons en by Kraaifontein.
Ons sien daarna uit, maar luister, voordat ons daar uitkom, moet ons vir jou te danke van Tata Oostenburg en Paul R1000 gee, want jy is vandag se Tottenham man of the match. So, wel gedaan, en ek gaan vir Gerald Brock van Scotsdene vra om vir ons die check te bring. Gerald, R1,000 here, courtesy of Tata.
Well played, thank you very much.
Congratulations, that is yours. And of course, remember, you can't just go and shove that in the auto bank. It's a very big check. This, Gerald, fantastic performance from your side today. Didn't go your way, but nevertheless, the community, the crowd, the field, everything looks good at Scotsdene.
No, I think we did well today. It's a bit sad that we didn't get the result, but we look forward to the future.
Well, we look forward to following your future, and we know that Scotsdene's got it tip-top in terms of administration and the fans here. So clearly that's what one wants from winning rugby. Fans, administration, and it comes together after that.
Thank you for those kind words, JP, and thank you to Cape TV. Thank you.
There we go, folks. This is your Tata man of the match. Remember, you can go and check out Tata Oostenburg or Paul. Congratulations, Dennis. You win for yourself R1,000 because you were today's best player. We'll see you guys after the break. Bye-bye. Congratulations, Dennis. You're Tata man of the match. Let's now look at the rest of the results in Division 1. Of course, there we see Hamadias going down to Northerns, 22 points to 14. Boland, Mark B, Busy Bees, 44-7 over Stelkor. Atlantis, Laguna, win for Atlantis, 22-21. Violets beating Rocklands, 24-15. In Division 2, Blue Stars going down to Blues Jets, 45-15. Gardens Tech, 30-31 loss for them to All Saints. While in Division 3, we see Perseverance losing to Young Ideas, 20 points to 17. Imikawi beating Temperance, 28-6. And Cootersville 57-15 over Rockland. Strand Pioneers, it was a massive win for them against Retreat 76-11. In Division 4, Thistle losing to Bishop Lavis 13 points to 11. Delft going down to Police. Police, of course, making their debut back into Western Province 46 points to 7. Young Brothers losing to Khayelitsha 17-10. While in the Paarl region was Allendale 31-20 over Riverstones. Peril United losing to Simondium 38 points to 12. Lower Paarl 67-0 over Albions. Violets Paarl losing to Young Garden 17-11. And Windmill United, well, they went down to Vineyards 50 points to 8. A massive win there for Vineyards. While in the Simonsburg region, and of course this is the Paarl region, Languedoc, Lamotte, they win there for Lamotte 41-16, and Lewandle, just a 1-point loss for them against the Pumas 2019. While Blue Swallows lost 20-0 to Fora, and Excelsior, well, it was a 21 points to 10 win for them against Blue Stars in the rural region. I think this is one of those absolutely fantastic scenarios. Mr. H, this farm league that has come out. A lot of people don't know about the farm league. These clubs have been playing for quite a while.
Yes.
But great to see them on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's nice. It gives them also that sense of belonging.
Yeah.
They've always been on the outskirts, playing their rugby week after week, but not belonging. Now they're associate members of the union, and it makes them part of the whole rugby family. I just want to say, on the results.
Yeah.
We always talk about home advantage and home team advantage if you play at home. Last week's results, 13 home teams won their games, and 14 that played away from home won their games. So it's like a half-half.
Yeah.
But then if you look at the second and third teams and under 20s, you will find that 38 home teams won their games and about 32.
So that you're becoming like a Brad Pitt statistician here, over here, right? So
I like to look at.
So give us these statistics quickly in percentages. Have you worked out the percentages yet?
No.
But are you saying the majority of the home teams are winning their games?
No.
No, the other way around.
Yeah, it was the other way around.
Right.
But I think this coming week, is the biggest rugby week in the calendar.
Why do you?
Because this week, every single club is playing all their matches. The only team that's on bye is in the 4th Division Police, because there's 11 teams in that section.
Yeah.
So this is one Saturday where 170 matches are scheduled to be played. And every single club is playing first, second, third, under 20, whatever team they have, they're playing.
That's quite incredible. That is absolutely, that's quite amazing. I mean, that's a lot of matches. That's just in the amateur. That's just in the senior space. We haven't even got into the school rugby yet. So 120 in the senior space. Don't forget, folks, as I said earlier on, we are on Facebook, www.facebook.com. Come and join our page, like the page, share your information. The more people we have on that page, the more we can tell them about what's happening with your club rugby. We're going to take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the logs. It's the early days, but already everybody's very interested in what's happening in the logs. Back with you in a moment.
Hi, I'm Bob Skinson, and you're watching Cape Rugby TV.
Time now for the logs. Let's take a look now at the logs in Super League A. And there we see Hamilton's, well, they're on 5 points at least. Of course, the points difference here is making the positional changes. Hamilton's on the top, first place now in after just one game, that is, in Super League A, followed by Durban, SK Warmers, Helderberg, Marties, and then UCT, Belhar, Tygerberg, and Bellville make up the bottom part of Super League A. In Super League B, we see False Bay, Kales River, Primrose, UWC, NNK, Hanson Hearts, Hamlets, Villagers, Brackenfell, and Goodwood. False Bay showing the merit, and Kales River also out of the starting blocks in Super League B. In Premier League A, Kraaifontein are in top spot after 2 wins already. Scottsdene in second place. Solarians, well, they're going to be playing some interesting matches already this weekend. Of course, if you sort of want to look at a game in hand scenario there, but big one for Solarians this weekend as they take on Macassar. While in Premier League B, we see Young People's, Milnerton, and Franschhoek dominating the top 3 positions there. In Division 1, Busy Bees on top spot with Atlantis and Violets and Laguna in second, third, and fourth position. While in Division 2, we see Gardens Tech, All Saints, Blue Jets, and Young Wesley's in the first, second, third, and fourth spots. Watsonia and Kylemore breaking up the bottom 2 rankings. Strand Pioneers and Imikawi are in first and second place on Division 3, and Whistling Wheels and Temperance making up the bottom of the log in Division 3. While in Division 4, we see Khayelitsha at the top with Bishop Lavers, Young Brothers, and Police in fourth spot. At the bottom of Cities and Delft. In the Paarl region, Lower Paarl and Vineyards are in first and second place, while in at the bottom it's Albions and the Parel region. Fixtures coming up this weekend. Super League A will, of course, be a hotly contested spot. And there we see SK Warmers taking on Tygerberg. It's Durban up against Bellville. Marties take on Hamilton's at home ground. And Belhar up against Vix. A big match for Belhar, Mr. H. They'll be looking to bounce back after their loss against SK Warmers last week. But yeah, taking on Stellenbosch. But it'll be home ground for Belhar and certainly not holding back.
Yeah, and Vix look like they're a little bit, off the pace at the moment. So I think Belhar would pin all their hopes on points in this game. You sort of pre-plan in the season, who are the games, which games are you going to win? And, you put all your effort into those games and make sure that you win those. You know that you might not beat the Hamiltons and you might not beat, but these other ones you must make sure that you win them. So,
do you think that Belhar, having had a bye this week, I mean, they would have didn't they have a bye last weekend?
No, they actually, as far as I know, they drew with UCT. Yeah, so some interesting, they got a good result against UCT. Obviously, UCT are going through a little bit of trouble with the fact that they, have lost their coach and they're sort of struggling between coaches, and their coach is currently busy on Saturdays, so they're having a bit of trouble trying to, sort of get their act together. So yeah, Belhar coming off a good draw to UCT will definitely be backing themselves against Vix. I think they're really playing some good rugby.
So the other matchups then, of course, in Super League A, SK Warmers and Tygerberg. I know that match from last week was postponed. They were supposed to have the match on the Friday, and then they changed the match from the Friday to the Saturday, and then that match was postponed. Not quite sure what exactly was happening there, but this weekend is SK Warmers against Tygerberg. They're playing at the track. Mr. H, that's bordering on a derby match.
Yeah, that's a massive derby match.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no love lost between the two. And, both the two guys that are at the head of those clubs, although they are good friends, they are enemies when it comes to...
We're now talking about Munib Levy on the one side and Peter Joost on the other side. Yeah. It's incredible how these gentlemen will sit around a boardroom table as complete friends, working together on a common cause, but come match day, it's enemy time. Durban will take on Belleville. That is going to be a big game as well. Marties and Hamiltons. Morgs, Marties and Hamiltons. I mean, the rivalry going back to when Hamiltons were the club champs and Marties were the club champs. This is a massive match. Hamiltons, it's going to be Hammy's first real test of merit to see, are you ready to play in this league?
Yeah, no, look, this is obviously one of the top, you know, what we used to call the top of the table clash often in Super League. It often used to be the top teams, you know, either one or two. So these guys have always, you know, they're used to playing some hard-fought battles, and I think with Stellenbosch having arrested a few players this past weekend and bringing them back this week, and Hamilton's being their real first test of the year, I think it's going to be an interesting battle down there in Stellenbosch.
Let's take a look now at the fixtures in Super League B, and hands on hearts up against Brackenfell. Goodwood UWC, NNK are home against Hamlets. Villagers take on Primrose, and False Bay take on Kales River. Folks, that is the match that we'll be attending this weekend. Villagers and Primrose at home, or at least Villagers at home against Primrose. So at Brookside, that's the match you want to come to. That's the match you want to see and come and support, because Cape Rugby TV is coming to watch Primrose take on Villagers. Mr. H, these guys have been neighbours for a long time and they've never played against each other.
Over 100 years.
More than 100 years?
More than 100 years. Primrose out of Claremont. Villagers in Claremont.
Yeah.
And then Primrose moved to Kenilworth, which is just next to Villagers. And they've never played in a league match against one another. So it will be a first. And it should have a lot of interest in the game.
Primrose themselves are not a team to be taken lightly.
No.
And Villagers hasn't really managed to pull their socks up, so to speak, even having come from Super League A. We know what their struggles are at the moment, trying to get some team culture going, trying to get some form of consistency, just trying to get more players there as well. Would you care to venture a prediction?
Yeah, I would put my money on Primrose and say that Primrose should win this one.
Morgs, you know the guys at Villagers.
Yeah, look, James, I think I'm going to go against the grain with Mr. H. Villagers are struggling, but I think they'll get themselves up. You know, they realize now that they're in a league where they need to start producing some results. And Rita, again, like I say, is an unbelievable coach, and he'll have done his homework. And I'm going to put money on Villagers for this one at home.
Yeah, Rito Klingwani is, of course, the coach at Villagers. He's had a fair amount of experience himself. He played for the Griffins. He played for the Vodacom Cup. Played for in the I think the Vodacom under-21. So he's been around, and he's now the head of coaching at Villagers. So good luck, guys. We certainly would like to see you start rebuilding the culture at Villagers. I think it's absolutely long overdue. Let's take a look now at... So, folks, there you go. That's the match we're going to this weekend. It is Villagers at home against Primrose. Come down and join us, all right? That's what we want to be. And incidentally, we've already picked next week's fixture, Strand Pioneers, the big match that you want to come and check out there, all right? Strand Pioneers are up against Perseverance at home. At least Strand Pioneers are at home. So that's the match we're going to be going to, not this Saturday, but next week Saturday. So a lot of time to prepare for that match, and we'll start publicizing and inviting people to come and join us in the Strand area. Premier League A now. Fixtures there, Silurians and Macassar. That is going to be a massive derby match, Mr. H. What a match.
The last match drew 4,000 spectators.
4,000 spectators. I mean, those two teams both coming up in the league. Silurians have got some star players. I was speaking to, I think, Godfrey Africa from Macassar on Monday night, and he said it is a big game, but they're ready to take those guys on.
Yeah, they're always ready. I mean, I think the last game, Macassar won the last game, so, you know, it was 1-1 in that round last year, in last season. Yeah. So we'll see what happens this year.
Silurians are full of confidence at the moment. I know you've been chatting with the Perenzi family. How do they feel about things?
Yeah, no, look, they come off a good win of last weekend, and I think Earl Roses, they say Earl Roses on top form there. It's for Silurians. So yeah, it's gonna be a good derby match down in Macassar.
Other fixtures there in Premier League is, of course, Collegians up against Elsie Sophia Panil. Villagers are up against Scottsdene. St. George's take on Paarl. Kraaifontein take on Rangers. While in Premier League B, it's Manenberg Rangers and the Strand. Langa van der Stel, Strand United, Franschhoek, Silvertree, Young Peoples, Milnerton, and Eerste Rivier. Division 1 and Stelkor, Hamadias. Hamadias, of course, playing two matches there, it seems, at the same time. while they play Stellenbosch Coronations, they're also playing against Violets. Laguna take on Busy Bees. Violets playing a second match, it seems, also in Division 1. Incredible how these teams will be playing in all these different venues at exactly the same time. Northern's up against Silverleaf. Wraithby Universals take on Rocklands. In Division 2, it's Kalmo and Young Stars, Young Wesleys and Blue Jets, All Saints and Blue Stars, Watsonia and Masiphumelele. Gardens Tech take on Caledonian Roses in Division 2. And then in Division 3, we see it's Richmond Rangers and Mikawa, Young Ideas, Peninsula, Cloetisville, Strand Pioneers, Temperance, Perseverance, Whistling Wheels and Retreat. While in Division 4, it's Bishop Labors, Young Brothers, Titans and Progress, Delft and Kailicha, Cities and Thistle. And in the Paarl region, it's Vineyards and Paarl Rangers, Peril United, Vintmill United, Albion's Allendale, Young Gardens, Simondium, Riverstones Violets, and at home, it's Young Standards up against Lower Paarl. Those are, of course, your fixtures in club rugby. Don't forget to join us at Villages this weekend as they take on Primrose. Mr. H.
Maybe just one in Division 1.
Yes.
Laguna and Busy Bees will also for the first time play in a league fixture against one another.
I was looking at that because, I mean, there's two clubs that are probably going to form a derby.
Yeah, no, look, they over the years, I mean, Busy Bees is over 80 years old. And over the years, they've played in Easter tournaments and things like that. But they've never played in a league fixture because Laguna was always ahead of Busy Bees. Now they're together. It will be the first time that they play. And for both camps, you know, the bragging rights is very important.
Well, talking about bragging rights, at the council meeting on Monday night, and I'm going to touch base with you on the council meeting in a second because I know a lot of the clubs were given grants. Alfred from Busy Bees said that they are turning 90 this year, and if anyone out there has got a cow to donate, they must please donate the cow so that they can celebrate. And then Mr. Wakefield, the president of Western Province Rugby, said, well, he figures that he knows that if they just drive down the N2, that they're probably going to buy. And then I worked out that if you looked at the road crossings, the bridges over the N2, that on any given day, you can drive down there, you'll probably see a cow crossing, a cow crossing over the bridge. So Alfred, congratulations on your 90th anniversary at Busy Bees. And we wish you the best of luck at finding that cow to make sure that you can celebrate properly the anniversary of Busy Bees. We'll take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll start taking a look at some of the happenings at the Union, and then we'll take a look at Super 15. We'll be back at you in a moment.
Hi, I'm Kobani Bobo, and you're watching Cape Rugby TV.
Leisure Hotels kindly supporting Cape Rugby TV. Don't you just love that? I love that sort of timing. All right, last week's winner was, of course, Linda Fredericks. Congratulations, Linda. You win for yourself one night's accommodation, bed and breakfast at the Strand Towers. Right, folks, so one of the big things that came out after the Cape Crusaders sort of infiltrated the match at the at Newlands, so to speak, and there was a lot of booing and there was a lot of concern about the respect for players. And, well, the players have now made a video asking you to respect them. Let's take a look at that video. Jean de Villiers and his teammates put this together for the fans of the Stormers and asking for a little bit more respect and a little bit less booing. Let's see what they had to say.
Rugby can be proud of its unique spirit, but it's important to keep it protected for the future. My name is Jean de Villiers, captain of the DHL Stormers. Please respect the two teams playing at DHL Newlands as well as all the spectators.
Molweni, ndinguSkara Ntubeni, umdlali we-DHL Stormers. Ndicela xa nizobukela e-DHL Newlands nibe nembeko for amaqela adlalayo nabanye abantu babukele umdlalo. Enkosi.
Hallo, my naam is Dick Steenkamp. Sal julle asseblief die spanne wat Saterdag op DHL Newlands speel ondersteun, sowel ook die mede-ondersteuners.
Hello, I'm Gio Aplon. Please respect the teams at DHL Newlands and also your fellow spectators.
Respect the players, that's what they're asking for. They're asking that if you come to Newlands, that you respect their team and that you respect their home ground. Mr. H, your feeling on that?
Well, it's important that people, you know, make the opponents feel welcome. It's all right to shout and to go on, but, you know, you must have restraint in what you're doing.
Yeah, Morgs, you've played for the Stormers. You've played for Western Province. As a player, Now, on a more personal note, not fun when you're getting booed at the stadium.
Yeah, James, look, it's never not at home. You know, when you go to your home stadium, you expect the people, you know, not expect, but it really lifts you as a player when you're out there and people are cheering you on and, you know, sort of backing you, whether you're winning or losing, whether you're playing good rugby or bad rugby. I mean, at the end of the day, you're from Cape Town, and the people in Cape Town, we sort of, you know, expect them to get behind us and give us a little extra bit that you need sometimes in the dying minutes when you 2 or 3 points down.
Yeah, folks, so of course you know, if you get behind the team, they're always going to perform a little bit better. We caught up with the guys with a slightly more creative video. Let's take a look at the second respect video. Evox is, of course, the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. If you want to win for yourself an Evox hamper, just tell us what is the DHL Stormers' favorite sports nutrition whey protein, okay? So, SMS the name of the protein, and the keyword there is Evox, E-V-O-X, and you can win yourself a Evox Synergy. Just SMS the word Evox to 33280, and you can win yourself a hamper. Now, you can see it on the screen right now. SMS your name and your answer to 33280. Congratulations to last week's winner, Jody September. You win for yourself a Evox Synergy whey protein, and of course you also won that set of double tickets to go and watch the Stormers take on the Sharks. And what a match that was. It was victory for the Stormers at Newlands against the mighty Sharks, which proved not to be so mighty anymore. And once again, the Stormers with their depth proved that the systems and structures work. We caught up with some of the players after the match to hear what they had to say before they go away on their home leg or away leg.
Yeah, it was good. It's a good win. You know, we're happy to be able to do it for our fans, for Cape Town, the whole of Cape Town, and you know, it's nice to give you guys a win for a change. And you know, where we're going off to tour now, we won't be playing at Newlands for a while. It's good to leave you guys with good memories. Yeah, everyone stood up tonight and put their hands up, so I'm a very proud captain tonight.
I thought it was okay. We did make a bit mistakes, but I thought it was a lot better than last week. Yeah, they are quite strong, but if you play the right game against them, I think you can expose them quite. Yeah, looking forward to it. I hope I go, but we'll know on Monday who goes into us.
There you go, my man.
Back again?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, we needed the victory. Coming off 2 very narrow defeats, always never nice. But yeah, obviously always nice beating the Sharks, coastal rivalry and derby. Yeah, it was a good game. Newlands is an unbelievable stadium. There's no such vibe as at Newlands. I must say the crowd is unbelievable. Supporters are, 100% behind the Stormers, which is awesome. Yeah, we've got a weekend off, probably spend some time with the family, you know, and some friends. And then we've got a massive tour, and obviously, you know, we said as a group our whole campaign starts this week, and what better to get a win before the tour.
Yeah, happy for the win. We're back on the scoreboard now. So yeah, we're going to enjoy it later.
Yeah, it was a great comeback from the boys after last week's disappointment. We obviously ironed out most of our problems, and it was so important for us to win this game because it will put us back on track where we belong, and it puts us in a very good mood for us before we go on tour. So the planning is all in place now, and we're just about ready to leave on our Australasian leg. And I honestly believe that we'll do very well overseas. 99% we're there. It's just as loose ends that must be tied up, and we'll be good to go next Saturday.
The guys seem to be very excited there after that match, and yeah, congratulations to the Stormers. It was a good win for them over the Sharks. Some of the other results then in the Super 15, it was the Bulls with a 26-20 win over the Cheetahs. The Stormers beating the Sharks 22-15. The Force 16-14 over the Crusaders. The Rebels losing just to the Kings there. The Blues 28-6 over the Hurricanes. The Chiefs 23-31 loss for them against the Reds. And then the Highlanders, well, it was a 19-30 points loss for them against the Brumbies. If we look at the fixtures coming up now in Super 15, and there we see the Hurricanes are taking on the Force, the Waratahs taking on the Chiefs, the Crusaders, the Highlanders, the Reds, the Brumbies, the Sharks, the Cheetahs, the Kings, and the Bulls. And of course, the Stormers are traveling soon, so it'll be an away match for them. Super Brew prediction time, and now it is. Morgs, Hurricanes take on the Force in Wellington.
Hurricanes 10.
Hurricanes 10, Mr. H.
No, Hurricanes 9.
I'm going to go for the Hurricanes by 5, and then it's the Waratahs take on the Chiefs. Morgs.
Chiefs 10.
Chiefs by 10.
Chiefs 10.
I am going to go for the Chiefs by 12, and then the Crusaders take on the Highlanders in Christchurch. Morgs.
Crusaders 15.
Crusaders 15.
Crusaders 15. All right, there's an original answer. Yes, the Crusaders take on the Highlanders. I'm going to go with the Crusaders by 21. And then, yeah, it's a big one. The Reds and the Brumbies. Morgs.
Brumbies 5.
Reds 4.
I'm going to go with the Reds by 11. And then the Sharks take on the Cheetahs in Durban. Morgs.
Sharks 7.
Sharks 14.
I'm going to go with the Cheetahs by 7. And then the Kings take on the Bulls. And this will be an interesting one, Morgs.
Bulls 20.
Bulls 10.
Bulls by 10, yeah, so there's going to be an interesting prediction. I would have to go there with the Bulls by 17. All right, and that'll certainly start leveling out the players. Let's quickly look and see who was last week's Player of the Week in the Super Brew competition. Congratulations there to Pitt. You are this week's player. And the poser there, JC. And, of course, in the celebrity rankings, congratulations to Jerome Parvata. Jerome is, of course, in Kenya at the moment. Jerome is this week's Yellow Cap winner. Morgan, you are still leading the pool there. Congratulations. Very well done to you.
Thanks, JP.
All right, folks, then that is a wrap of the show. Don't forget to join us this coming weekend as we go and watch Villagers at home against Primrose. Great to see those two teams coming together, living in such close proximity of each other, and we look forward to that. Morgs, good luck for the weekend. I know that Hamilton's is up against Marty's. It's going to be a tough one for you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, but we're looking forward to it down in Stellenbosch.
And Mr. H, any specific game you'll be attending?
I might go to the Villagers game.
We'll see you, Villagers against Primrose. Yeah. And there you go, folks. Come and join me and Mr. H as Villagers take on Primrose at home ground this coming weekend. Don't forget, find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Our Twitter handle @Cape Rugby TV, and hashtag #WP Club Rugby. That's the hashtag to make sure that we keep all that information flowing on the weekend. All right, let's get us trending again. That's a wrap. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. I'll steal Jerome's cap. Bye-bye.